the racing though, that's how I got connected to Carlos, was through the car business, right? And about a year ago to the day, I had bought my Corvette, and I was out at the Daytona Speedway for a driving event there, a Porsche event, and they had this thing where you could go and do the laps on the course in your car just to get on the speedway, you know. And I had my whole life, I've always wanted to get on there, and I was just like, oh my God, you know, this is awesome. So I did it, and I mean, it was just like a moment where you like break through the fence, you know what I mean? And I mean, it was just a total like, I knew from that moment that that's what I wanted to go that direction in my life. I didn't know how to do it. So my mom was there, and she took a picture of me on the course, you know, and coming out of turn 3 in the infield. And Carlos was on my Facebook, and you know, he commented on it. I said, no, you know, I'm gonna message him. So we just started talking back and forth, and you know, and he goes, well, do you want to get into racing? And I said, you know, my whole life I've wanted to. I've got some money saved up, and you know, I've been working hard, and let's go for it. He goes, all right, well, I'll find you a car. So I get a call a day later, and he goes, hey, I found you the car. And I'm like, all right, what is it? He goes, it's a Mustang. You know, and I'm like, you know, okay, I've had 2 Mustangs, you know, and I love Mustangs, you know, and I was like, that's one of my favorite cars, you know, probably it is my favorite car, you know. And he goes, come look at it. So I go and look at it, you know, and I loved it. And then the guy that had it for sale, his name was Squeak Kennedy. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah, I know Squeak.
Yeah, you know Squeak, great guy, you know, and he's had some, you know, some to do with my success as well. With you know, he cut me a really good deal on the car, and you know, and so I bought the car, took it to Carlos's shop, you know. And so we went in there, and you know, we just started it from there. And he took me down to Palm Beach International Raceway. It's the first track I ever drove on, just to see how I did, you know. And so he said I did very well, you know. And then so we started working from there. And then I started racing in SCCA.
No, you're talking about in the last year.
This is 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This 1 year. So then I started racing in SCCA. So my first race was at Homestead Speedway in the Majors Tour. In the SCCA Majors Tour. They go around, and you know, that goes in the southeast. So it's Homestead, Sebring, and then it goes to Road Atlanta, and then it goes to New Orleans, or NOLA, New Orleans, and then VIR, Charlotte, and then Roebling Road Raceway. So we ran that tour, with the exception of a couple races. So I went to Homestead for my first race, and I had no idea what was going on, you know what I mean? And I was just kind of out there, and I just knew that, you know, this was my first shot. There's only one time at a first impression, and I got to go for it. So I went up there, and I was against a guy in my class who was a national champion the year before.
Okay, now what class is this?
This is called Touring 3.
Touring 3, okay.
And I was against a guy, I'm not going to mention any names, but I was against a guy who was the national champion in the year before. And really nice guy. And we ended up, you know, racing each other, and it was just like, I mean, you know, half a second apart from each other, and we just went at it the whole time. You know, my car had more power on the straights. You know, his car had the agility in the infield. I ended up winning both majors races, first place in each one. And
now we're talking about your debut.
This is the first time I've ever been in a car in any kind of sanctioned racing other than, you know, street racing or anything like that. You know, which I grew up doing that too. You know, when you don't have the money, it's kind of, you know, your only option. You know. Right.